Are we ready? Good. Hey guys, MediaNutso here, and welcome to another Saturday night edition of MediaNutso Play. Means tonight I've got something special cooked up for you. Well, I'm about to announce something special. Apologies for being redundant there. Here, for the next 5 weeks, we will be streaming every lesson of the Learning Week that was released during the Diamond and Pearl era. Of course, this means I will be going through some of the lessons I had tackled in previous live streams. But hey, this will give some of you that missed out on the past ones a chance to see it live. But now here's how it's all gonna go down. Considering there were only 25 lessons produced during that time, I'm gonna be covering 5 lessons each over the course of 5 weeks. And also, it won't be in any particular order. It will just go by each category. Right? So with all that out of the way, hey, let's get things started with our first lesson up today. And wouldn't you know it, it happens to be in the math category. Where will once more be where once more will become looking at how to handle improper fractions and mixed numbers. Oh, so scratch that. I meant to say multiplication. How to multiply fractions.
What a mess!
Wow! What happened?
Some young Pokémon got loose in here. It appears they had a bit of a snack and made a bit of a mess.
That sounds familiar, doesn't it, Piplup? Piplup!
With my assistants out for the day, I suppose I should clean up this mess. It's important that we keep a careful count of all the Pokémon food.
Professor Rowan! Immediate assistance needed in Lab B!
I'll be right there! This mess will have to wait till later.
I can help, Professor Rowan. Piplup, Piplup!
That would be most appreciated, young lady. Here.
Okay.
The amount that we had is written on the sheet. I've already noted the amounts that are left. So you just need to multiply the original amount of each kind of food by what's left. See? Those 3 jars were full, but now each only has half left. So you multiply 3 times 1/2. Understood?
Sure.
Thank you very much, Dawn.
Let's see. Piplup? Now, why would Professor Rowan tell me to multiply when there's less food left? Don't you get more when you multiply? Pip? I'd hate to mess this up. I know. I'll call Ada.
Hi, Dawn. What are you up to?
Hi, Ada. I'm at Professor Rowan's lab. There's a bit of a mess, so I'm helping by figuring out how much Pokémon food is left. Professor Rowan said to multiply the original amounts by what's left. Like this one, he said multiply 3 jars times 1/2, because that's how much is left. But I thought multiplying gave you more.
You bring up a good point. Usually multiplying does give you more. But in this case, you're multiplying a whole number by a fraction. And a fraction is less than a whole number. It's part of a number, so really it's like you're dividing. Think of multiplying by fractions as taking a part of something.
Oh, I see. My 3 jars aren't being increased by half. I'm taking half of each of them.
Exactly.
So 1/2 of 3.
Hold on. It also helps to write the whole number 3 as a fraction, and then you just multiply across, unless you can reduce the fractions by canceling first.
Let's see. First multiply the numerators. 3 times 1 equals 3. Then multiply the denominators. 1 times 2 equals 2. The answer is 3 halves?
Yep. And now reduce the answer further by making a mixed number, 1 1/2. Actually, I'm multiplying fractions too. I'm making cookies.
Yum! But what do they have to do with fractions?
I didn't have enough flour, so I'm reducing the recipe by 1/3. How would I multiply a mixed number by a fraction?
What's the number?
2½ cups times 1/3, or 1/3 of 2½ cups.
Multiply 1/2 by 1/3 and then multiply it all by 2?
Not quite. First you need to change the mixed number 2 1/2 into an improper fraction.
I know how to do that. 2 times 2 plus 1 equals 5 halves.
Exactly. Now, check. Can you cancel anywhere and reduce the fractions?
No.
Okay, then multiply the numerators across the top.
5 times 1 equals 5.
And multiply the denominators across the bottom.
2 times 3 equals 6. The answer is 5/6.
And always check if your answer can be reduced further.
Nope.
Great work! Want to try another for me?
Sure.
This time we're multiplying 2 fractions. The recipe calls for 1/4 cup of brown sugar, but I'm making 1/3 of a recipe. So how much do I need?
I can't reduce the numbers any further, so I multiply across the top and across the bottom. 1 times 1 equals 1. 4 times 3 equals 12. 1/12? That seems so small.
Well, it can't be reduced any further, so 1/12 it is. Think you'll be able to figure out the amounts in the lab?
I think so.
Why don't we go over a few more problems while these cookies bake? There are a lot of other uses for multiplying by fractions.
Great. I want to make sure I've got it.
What a mess!
I was going to bike 5 miles, but I only made it 1/3 of the way before I got a flat tire. How far did I bike? Sometimes it helps to visualize the answer before you do the math. Click and drag to show 1/3 of my total miles. That's right. What is 1/3 of 5 miles? That's right. 5/3 is 1 2/3. I'm making a half recipe, so I only need 1/2 of the 3½ cups of flour. Click and drag to show 1/2 of 3½ cups of flour. Stop when you get to the correct equation. That's right. What is 1/2 of 3½ cups of flour? Excellent. Do you see how 1 3/4 equals half of the total amount now? There is half a pizza left and I want to give 3/4 of it to my friends. Click and drag the arrow to show 3/4 of 1/2 of a pizza. Try again. Try again. That's right. That's 3/4 of 1/2 of a pizza. What is 3/4 of 1? Excellent. Notice how the answer is less when you multiply by a fraction. I played basketball the other day. I usually make 6 out of 8 free throws, but this time I only made 1/3 of that amount. Click and drag to show 1/3 of 6/8. That's right. That shows 1/3 of 6/8. What is 1/3 of 6/8? Good work. 1/3 of 6/8 is 6/24, or 1/4. The cookies are done.
Okay, so it's time for me to figure out these problems now. Thanks for your help, Ada.
Anytime.
You may want to get a paper and pencil to work these out with me. Choose the correct answer. You may want to get a paper and pencil to work these out with me. Choose the correct answer. Don't forget to cancel. Those 4 jars were full, but now they're 3/4 full. 3/4 of 4 equals... Great! Those 12 small jars were full, but now I need to find 2/3 of that amount. 2/3 of 12 equals... Awesome! Next we have 5.5 boxes of food, but half of each has been eaten. Awesome! And there were 7.5 boxes of this kind of food, but now there is only 1/3 of each. All right. There was 3/5 of a bag of this Pokémon food, but 1/4 is left. Good What's job. 1/4 of 3/5? Okay, one more. Here we had 1/3 bag full of Pokémon food, but 1/2 has been spilled. Great! did it! Hey, don't eat that!
Have you seen any Pokémon?
They went that way. Let's see. Now there's 1/3 of 1½ left. 1½ times 1/3 equals 1½ is 3/2. Cancel the 3's. Half a jar is left.
I missed them. Have you finished the recount, Dawn?
I did. Here it is.
Good job. I knew I could count on you.
Thanks, Professor Rowan.
About that recount, perhaps you could stand by a little longer?
Well, that was certainly re-enlightening. Anyway, on to the What? And our next one will take us into the world. And when you know it, our next lesson takes us into language arts. Well, where we learn the parts of speech.
Read the sentence.
Piplup, this is so exciting! Professor Oak is in town to do his TV show. I so want to do something to show him how much I admire him and his poetry. Piplup, piplup. Wait, I have a fantastic idea. I'll write a poem for Professor Oak and I'll read it to him. He'll be so impressed. Plop, piplup. Now, what to write? Professor Oak is, what should I say? I guess I could just try to say what I think. Okay, I think today Wait! Professor Oak writes poems about Pokémon. Of course! Piplup! Pip? I'll write a poem about you. Plop, piplup. And maybe if it's good enough, Professor Oak will read it on his show. Piplup! Okay. Piplup is... No. Piplup does... I know. Piplup and No, we... Oh... What's the use? I can't write a poem. Piplup, piplup. I know. Lex. Maybe he can help.
Hey, Dawn. What's going on?
Lex, I need your help. Professor Oak is going to tape his show right here, and I wanted to write a poem to read to him, but I just don't know how.
Cool. You know, songwriting is a bit like poetry, so let me see. One way to start is to think about how all your words work together.
Like how? I know lots of words.
I know, but it helps to understand what they do when you put them to work in a poem, song, or a sentence, or a story, or anything. Now first, your poem needs to be about someone or something, so you need a noun. A noun is a word that names a person, place, or thing.
I was thinking of writing about Piplup.
Great! Piplup is a noun. In fact, Piplup is a special kind of noun. A proper noun. A proper noun is a specific person, place, or thing. Usually anyone or anything with a name, like Dawn, or Lex, or Twin Leaf Town, is a proper noun. Common nouns are words that are not specific persons, places, or things, like girl, or boy, or building, or town.
I get it. Professor Oak is a proper noun, but poet is a common noun.
You've got it. Now, do you want to be in the poem too?
Sure.
Piplup and Dawn. See the word and? That's what we call a conjunction. Its job is to connect words or phrases. Some conjunctions are and, but, or.
Then Piplup and Dawn it is. But don't we need some action?
Exactly. You're going to need words that show you doing things. Words that name actions or being are called verbs. For example, play, train, practice, run, jump.
I know some. Laugh, talk, write, sing. Verbs can tell what you're doing.
Right. So you can use verbs to tell what you're doing in the poem. Now adding a little description will help your poem too. Adjectives and adverbs are words that describe. Adjectives describe nouns. Adverbs describe verbs, adjectives, or other adverbs.
Oh, so we could say brave Piplup and...
Clever Dawn.
I like that. Thanks. Brave Piplup and Clever Dawn. Race quickly?
Great verb and adverb. Race tells what you're doing, and quickly tells how you're doing it. Here's a tip. Many adverbs end in ly.
Like slowly or gladly? Oh!
Hey, that was fast. How about this? Brave Piplup and Clever Dawn run quickly through sudden rain.
Is that a poem?
It's a type of poem. Haiku and senryu are short poems that are good at capturing a moment in time.
Oh, Professor Oak knows all about them. What about the word from? What's that?
That's a preposition. Prepositions help relate words to other words and sentences. For example, above, at, behind, beneath, in, on, under tell where something is. Down, up, through, toward tell what direction something is going in. After, before, during, since tell when something is happening. Of, for, to, with are prepositions that connect words. And those prepositions don't stand alone. Look at this phrase, on the steps. There's a preposition, an article, and a noun. Articles are words like a, an, the. They are used when you're talking about a specific noun.
Lex, I just had an idea for a poem. Listen. Raindrops, soft and steady, we quietly listen to them.
Awesome! Can you tell what role the words play in your poem?
Let me see. Raindrops is the something the poem is about, so that's a noun. Soft, steady, both describe the raindrops, so they're adjectives. And connects those words, so that's a conjunction. Listen is an action, so that's a verb. Quietly is an adverb, because that describes the verb. And to connects the other words, so I think that's a preposition. We and them are...
Ah, those are pronouns. They're really great to have around. You can use them to take the place of a noun. So instead of repeating Piplup and Dawn over and over, you can just say they.
That does make things easier.
It sure does. And you can use them two ways. Subject pronouns take the place of nouns that are the subject or main idea of a sentence. Subject pronouns are I, we, you, he, she, it, they. Object pronouns take the place of nouns that are the object in a sentence. The object in a sentence is having something done to it. Object pronouns are me, us, you, him, her, it, them.
I think all of them could help me a lot. Wow, I guess I use pronouns a lot.
And it sounds like you're ready to try out all these parts of speech. What do you think?
Sure. Piplup.
Read the sentence. Click and drag each word into the right part of speech box below. There might be more than one type of word. Great job! A noun is a person, place, or thing. Great job! A noun is a person, place, or thing. Great work! Pronouns take the place of a noun. Right. An adverb describes a verb. You got it. A conjunction connects words and phrases. Great job! A noun is a person, place, or thing. Awesome. A verb is an action word. Awesome. A verb is an action word. Fantastic. An adjective describes a noun. Super. A preposition helps relate words to each other. You're right. Articles show that you're talking about a specific noun. Hey, let's try another. Read the sentence. Click and drag each word into the right part of speech box below. Great job. A noun is a person, place, or thing. Great job. A noun is a person, place, or thing. Great job. A noun is a person, place, or thing. Awesome. A verb is an action word. You're right. Articles show that you're talking about a specific noun. Great work. Pronouns take the place of a noun. Remember, an adverb describes a verb. Try again. Fantastic. An adjective describes a noun. You got it. A conjunction connects words and phrases. Awesome. A verb is an action word. Remember, an adjective describes a noun. Try again. Remember, a verb is an action word. Try again. Super! A preposition helps relate words to each other. That was awesome. Now why don't you pick out some words and write your own sentences? Read the sentence. Click and drag each word. Look at the blank spaces. Each one is labeled with a part of speech. Make a sentence by clicking and dragging a word from the word cloud to fit the right part of speech. Be as silly as you want. Just make sure you have the right part of speech in the right place. Way to go! Great! Great! Awesome! Awesome! Way to go! Awesome! Right. Great! That was a crazy sentence. Let's try another. Click and drag words into the right parts of speech place. Great! You got it! Awesome! You got it! Way to go! You got it! Way to go! Right.
That was awesome! Hey, look! It stopped raining.
And there's someone coming out of the studio.
Oh, maybe it's Professor Oak. I better go catch him. Thanks, Lex. Come on, Piplup. There's a sign. It says, due to bad weather, Professor Oak will not be able to get here for his show tonight. The show will be rescheduled. Oh, no. Piplup, I'm so disappointed. I worked so hard on my poem, and now Professor Oak isn't going to get to hear it. But you know what, Piplup? I'm sure I'm going to meet him someday, right? I just have to. And until then, I can take the time to really work on my poems. I can write some really good ones, so next time I see Professor Oak, I can totally impress him. Hey, this has worked out fine. Today I need an adjective. Wonderful, extraordinary, stupendous. Piplup, piplup.
Well, that was very much a Shaggy Dog ending there. Yeah, and I know I stumbled during the try section, but that's to be expected at this point. Well, enough about them. Let us move on to a life skill lesson, in which we'll relearn how to get stronger, or by doing various exercises.
Help Ash decide which Machop, use dynamic punch! Chop!
Whoa! That was awesome!
Yeah, they've really been training hard.
It's amazing how much muscle that Machop has. That was a really cool karate chop.
I know. It's really strong. I wonder what else it can do.
Machop, the superpower Pokémon. Machop undertakes strenuous training to build its muscles to master all kinds of martial arts. Even though it is small, it has enough power to easily hoist a sumo wrestler on its shoulders.
Wow. It must exercise all the time. I wish I was that strong.
Well, maybe you should build up your own muscle, Ash.
Really? How do I do that? By running? How about this? Will this build muscle?
I'm not sure, but I think you need something working against your muscle, don't you?
How about some of these?
I think you're going to need to do more than that, Ash.
Like what?
I don't know, but your muscles aren't getting any stronger standing around wondering, are they?
Let's call Quinn at the Learning League lab and ask him what you should do.
Okay, but you're not exactly in Machop shape either, are you?
Hi, Ash. Hi, Brock. What's going on? Who's not in Machop shape?
Well, neither one of us, really. That's why we're calling you.
We just saw an awesome trainer and it's Machop practicing. Machop is pretty much all muscle and amazingly strong.
Yeah, and it'd be cool if I could get a few muscles myself. Then I might be an even better trainer.
But we have no idea what kind of exercises we should be doing.
That's great that you guys want to get into shape. Exercise keeps you healthy and builds up muscle.
That sounds pretty good. How do we start?
Well, you said you wanted more muscle. You need something heavy working against your muscles. Resistance. Like your own body weight pushing against your arm muscles.
What about push-ups?
Right. Push-ups, pull-ups, tug-of-war, running, weightlifting, even playing on monkey bars can strengthen all kinds of muscles.
See? My idea for push-ups was on the right track.
I think Quinn means you're going to need to do more than just 2 or 3 to see some results.
Okay.
Quinn, do you know any exercises we can do to keep from running out of steam? Sometimes I'm really out of breath after hiking up a hill.
That's aerobic exercise, Brock. Aerobic means with air. So that means you're using lots of oxygen when you exercise. You'll probably get sweaty and your breath will speed up. It gives your heart a great workout.
So the stronger our hearts get, the longer we'll be able to exercise?
You got it.
But what kinds of exercises are aerobic? If they use air, does that mean flying and stuff?
Not exactly. Like I was telling Brock, the air part has to do with the oxygen in your body. But you're on the right track. Swimming, basketball, rollerblading, jogging, rowing a boat, even jumping rope are all aerobic exercise.
Cool! But how do we know if we're doing it right?
Your body tells you. No matter what kind of exercise you do, your heart should start beating faster. Your pulse increases and you start breathing quicker. You'll probably even break a sweat.
Got it. So the longer I exercise, the more muscles I'll have?
Well, the more you exercise, the healthier and stronger you'll be, but you shouldn't overdo it. You could end up with really sore muscles and wear yourself out. It's important to keep a healthy balance.
Well, how much is the right amount?
Everybody's body is different. So that means what one person needs won't be the same as someone else. But it's good to be active every day, even if it's just running and playing with your friends. That's exercise too.
So just training with Pikachu could make me stronger?
Exactly.
Awesome!
Pika!
And I always feel great after training or playing with my friends.
That's no accident, Ash. When you exercise, your brain releases chemicals called endorphins. It makes you feel good.
But sometimes I don't feel so good. Like my muscles are stiff in the morning after a long day of walking or training.
Try doing some stretches instead. When you wake up, or better yet, before and after a long walk or exercise, start stretching. Reach your arms over your head as far as they'll go and bend over and touch your toes. Or sit on the ground and reach over and touch your toes with your fingers.
Cool. I bet I could throw my Pokeball even farther if I stretched first.
Good thinking. If you keep doing stretches every day, you'll have what's called a full range of motion. That means you can move your arms and legs without any tightness.
It seems like doing the same stretches all the time could get boring, though.
You're onto something, Brock. Exercise should be fun. So do different exercises, play a sport you love, or find new activities. Instead of stretching, you could try yoga, gymnastics, and martial arts. Ballet is also a great way to stretch. But not every exercise is going to seem fun to you. So find one you love.
I think I'm gonna love stretching. Whoa!
Nice balance, Ash.
Exercise helps your balance too. It'll help with coordination. Another good way to keep an overall balance is by eating a healthy diet, like fruits, vegetables, dairy, breads, and protein to give your body the energy it needs to exercise.
Exercise can really help with everything. So how do we start?
You could come up with a fitness goal that works for you. Start with doing one activity a day that will keep your heartbeat up, like running or soccer.
Awesome! I can't wait to start exercising. Will you help me pick the right one?
Machop, you...
Help Ash and Brock find an exercise they enjoy. Look at the activities on the right side of the screen. Drag and drop them into the correct boxes: strength, aerobic, or stretch.
Ready? Go for it!
Awesome job! Push-ups are a great way to build muscles. You got it! Playing tug of war uses endurance, and it's a great way to strengthen those muscles. You got it. Weightlifting needs lots of strength and builds muscle. Right. Yoga is a great way to stretch those muscles. Right again. Gymnastics really stretches out your muscles and gives you a full range of motion. Great job. Ballet is an awesome exercise to increase your flexibility and gives you a full range of motion. Awesome job. Rollerblading is an aerobic exercise and gets your heart working. Right. Jogging is an aerobic activity and uses lots of oxygen. That's right. Martial arts is a great way to stretch out those stiff muscles. Great job. Jumping is an aerobic activity and uses lots of oxygen to keep your heart healthy. Nice job. Soccer uses tons of oxygen and aerobic activity.
Wow! All this talk about exercise is making me want to go for a run and do some push-ups. Will you help me decide which ones to do to help me with my training?
Help Ash decide which exercises to do with his training. When Ash tells you what he wants, for example, stronger muscles, click on an exercise on the list that will help him reach his goal.
Ready? Let's do it! I want my arm to be flexible for throwing my Pokeball in my next battle. All right! I want my heart to be super healthy so I can run extra far when I train. All right! I want to come up with a great exercise program and get lots of endorphins so I'll feel good. What kind of aerobic activity can I do? Awesome! I want stronger muscles. You got it! My muscles are stiff today. I need to stretch doing something fun. You got it! I think I'll try playing a sport to make my exercise routine more fun. What should I try? You got it! Machop's trainer had lots of muscle in his legs. I want to try to build up my muscles too. Awesome! I want to build up a strong heart so I can train longer and run faster. All right! I wish I had a full range of motion to keep my arms and legs moving without getting stiff. All right! My heart's beating fast, and I'm breathing heavier, and my pulse is quickened. I just did an aerobic activity to increase my speed. You got it! I want to mix up my exercise routine. What's your favorite one that I should try? You got it! Awesome! Now that I know all about these different exercises, I bet I can get in shape and get lots of muscles in no time.
Drop and give me 20.
Huh?
Push-ups, Ash. I'm talking about push-ups.
Cool!
Are those endorphins kicking in yet?
Not yet. Hey, you said you were going to work out with me.
I did.
Come on, let's go!
1. Okay, I think that's enough for today.
What about your personal fitness plan?
What about it? My plan is to do 1 push-up every day.
At this rate, you should have a muscle by... never.
Okay, you're right. 2, 3.
Pika! Pika! Pika pika!
Yeah. Well, I hope that'll help some of ye. You'll help get better, stronger muscles and breathe better. Well, it's on to the science lesson of the night, and it just so happens to be the first one, be the lesson that introduced Dawn onto the Learning League. Well, that's right, it's time for us to revisit the water cycle. Hold on a second. Yeah, that was just bugging me. Anyways.
I hope I can catch another water-type Pokémon at this lake.
You've got plenty of time. I'm still waiting for this water to boil to make lunch.
Great!
Wow, the water is really warm.
Pika!
Sure is.
Hello, Officer Jenny. What's going on?
I'm here to check the lake's water level. It hasn't rained for a very long time. Because the area is experiencing a drought, we're all worried about the Pokémon that depend on this water.
Is there anything we can do to help? Pika-pee!
I'm afraid the only thing we can do is hope for some rain soon. Well, I better be on my way. Goodbye.
I wish we could do something.
Maybe Ciara knows a way to make it rain.
It's worth a shot. Hey, Dawn, will you watch the campfire while we call Ciara?
Sure. Come on, Piplup. Piplup!
Hey, everyone.
Hi, Ciara. We thought you might be able to help us. We're at this lake, but the water level is dropping because there's a drought in the area.
But since the water level has dropped, Officer Jenny is worried about the wild Pokémon that live here.
Yeah, so how do you make it rain?
Actually, all that water that evaporated from the lake is making rain as we speak.
Huh? Where?
Well, it's more like how. Water changes into many different forms, from big oceans to tiny droplets of rain, through a natural recycling process.
Brock, you ever gonna throw some pasta in the pot? Half the water is gone already.
Wait, all the water boiled out?
I'm gonna have to start over. The water level is down for sure.
But how?
The way Brock's pot lost water while boiling under the heat of the campfire is similar to how the lake lost water under the heat of the sun.
Huh?
See that steam rising from Brock's pot of water?
Sure.
That's the water evaporating, or turning into steam. That's what happens to water when it gets hot enough. It turns into vapor.
But then what happens to the steam? It just disappears?
Nope, it rises, where it'll eventually turn into clouds, and then rain back down.
So what happened to the lake? Happened to the pot of boiling water? It's gonna turn into rain too?
So to speak, that's what happens in the water cycle.
So the water cycle is what makes the rain?
Well, the first step has to do with the water in the pot and the lake level dropping. The hot sun heats up the water in lakes, rivers, and oceans, causing some of the water to vaporize or turn into steam. This is called evaporation. Brock's boiling pot of water just uses fire to cause the same effect on the water.
Sounds like bodies of water sweat just like our bodies.
It's a little different. But we do sweat off water when we get hot, and so do rivers, lakes, oceans, and plants.
Plants sweat?
Yup, it's called transpiration.
But where does all that water vapor go?
Well, where does the water come from?
You mean rain?
Right. Where does rain come from?
Clouds, of course.
Of course. And that's where water vapor goes when it evaporates. Into clouds. As the vapor rises in the sky, it gets cold. Like if I drop ice in my glass of water. See how the ice cools it off? See all this condensation on the side of the glass?
Yeah, like when you draw into stuff on a window.
That stuff is condensation, and it's the same stuff that makes up clouds. With the temperature change, the water vapor changes back into liquid. Then that cold liquid condenses and forms clouds.
So clouds are made up of condensation?
That's right.
But like my mom says, after the clouds must come rain.
You got it. See the sides of my glass of water, how there are droplets running down?
Yeah, like rain.
That's because it is like rain. When there's so much water condensed into a cloud that it just can't hold it anymore, it has to fall back down from the sky to the ground in the form of precipitation.
As rain.
Or snow, or hail, or sleet. It depends on the weather.
But how does it know to fall back into the rivers or oceans it came from?
Well, it doesn't exactly. It could fall in another body of water, or it could just fall to the ground and get absorbed into the soil.
Like in spring, when the snow melts and everything starts to bloom.
Right on. But when rain or snow hits a mountain, it has to make its way down to the ground. And the water runoff from mountains flows down and collects at the bottom in the valley. This final step of the water cycle is called collection.
Then after all that, the water collects and it begins to evaporate again?
You know it. Water is in this constant cycle of evaporation, condensation, precipitation, and collection.
That's easy peasy.
Wow, that's a good way to remember it. The water cycle is easy peasy. I think you're really getting it.
Too bad we can't get it to rain here.
I guess we'll just have to wait.
Hey, in the meantime, why don't we make it rain in my lab?
How are you going to do that?
With a little experiment. Wanna help?
Yeah!
Awesome. Now let's recreate the water cycle. So, I put some water in this jar to make a mini lake. Now what should I do to make some of this lake evaporate and turn into steam? Right on. If you turn up the heat on water, it turns into vapor. So now let's turn up the heat. I'm using a hot plate in the lab, but can you tell me, in the natural water cycle, what heats the water?
Right on. The sun is hot, hot, hot. It heats up our bodies as well as bodies of water. What happens when the water gets hot? Right on. The recipe for vapor or steam is when you take water and add heat. Well, it's getting pretty steamy in there. Now, what happens to the water vapor as it rises in the sky? All right, it cools off to form clouds in the sky. So let's let things in the lab cool off. Right on. The water gets too heavy in the clouds and falls back down. Look! In the jar, the water is sliding back down the sides. What happens to the water after it falls back to the ground? That's right. And it's collecting back at the bottom of this jar as we speak. And that completes the water cycle. I can't believe you can make that happen in a lab. Anything is possible.
Oh, yeah. I think I just felt a raindrop.
Rain!
Since the water cycle is now in precipitation, we better run for shelter at the Pokémon Center. Bye, Ciara.
See you later. Phew! We made it.
Yeah, and now I just hope that there's enough rain to fill the lake back up, so there's plenty for all the Pokémon.
It's raining pretty hard. I think it's going to go on for a while.
I know. Let's go through it while we're wading through it. Can you help us put the water cycle together? Watch what happens. Then, drag and drop the name of the water cycle. Watch what happens. Then, drag and drop the name of the water cycle step onto the illustration. You may use the same term more than once.
Way to go. Way to go. Way to go.
Awesome! Awesome! All right!
Way to go.
You got the steps of the cycle down pat. Can you put it all together in order? Using this circle chart, drag the icons into order so the arrows make the water cycle flow.
Awesome! All right! Awesome! All right! All right! We did it! We not only went through the water cycle, we outlasted the rain! Hey! Look at all those Pokémon at the lake!
Yup. Thanks to the rain, I'm happy to report the water level is on its way back to normal.
Yeah!
Yeah, it's definitely good news for the people and Pokémon in this region.
Hey, where's Piplup? Piplup! 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 Piplup, there you are. Oh, water types. You just had to play in the rain, huh? Cute. Piplup's our very own precipitation, I guess. Piplup? Piplup?
Well, that was definitely one of the more fun ones to revisit. And now for our fifth and final lesson of the night, we're gonna be diving back into the math category. Where we'll once learn a thing or two about place value.
It looks like some digits have...
Shh! I didn't say anything. You're... Shh! I didn't say anything. You're walking too loud.
Yeah, Heavyfoot. We'll make a fortune selling these Pokémon supplies back to all those little twerps.
Look at all I've got.
That's not the way to carry that. Let me show you.
You're making a mess.
I've got some stuff. Oh, look out!
You're ruining everything. Someone's going to hear us. Just grab as much as you can and let's bolt.
Wow, what a disaster.
We're gonna have some unhappy customers. The superstore is due to open this afternoon. All of these boxes are filled with food and supplies by customer order number.
We'll help. Pikachu!
Oh, thank you. I must go find out who did this.
Whoa, hold on. We can't just put boxes anywhere. They have to go up in order, or the superstore owner won't be able to find each customer's supplies.
Let's see. This one is number 215, and this is number 251. Uh-oh. These numbers are so alike. Which belongs in which spot? There are an awful lot of numbers here, and we need to work fast. Maybe Ada knows something that'll help.
Hey, what happened?
A mess happened, and all the customers are coming for their orders this afternoon.
We're trying to put everything back into place by number, but we don't want to make any mistakes on the confusing ones.
Like these.
I see what you mean. Let's take a closer look at that 215 order. Look at the 5, the digit farthest to the right. The 5 is in the ones place. A digit is any of the numerals 0 to 9. A digit shows the place value in a number.
Numbers have places?
Absolutely. And to get the orders back in the correct spaces quickly, we'll need to understand place value. Think about the numbers 0 through 9. If you were typing or writing them, how many spaces would you need for each number?
1.
Right. So those numbers are called ones. Each is one digit. But we often need to count higher than 9, so what happens next?
We get to 10.
Right. And that's a 2-digit number. 10 is a group of 10 ones. Look at these numbers. The digit to the left shows how many groups of 10 are in the number. The digit on the left is the tens place.
What about all the zeros?
Those zeros are in the ones place, meaning that there aren't any ones, or values less than 10, in those numbers. Now look at this.
There's a 10 and a 5.
Right. Now what if you put those together?
You'd have 15?
Absolutely. And we'd write it with 1 in the tens place and 5 in the ones place. 15 means one set of 10 plus 5 ones.
But there's a third place in our number.
That would be hundreds, right?
Right. 100 is really just 10 groups of 10. Let's look at your first number.
Let's see. There's 2 hundreds, 1 10, and 5 ones. So it's 200 plus 10 plus 5. That's 215.
Now look at the other number.
I see 2 hundreds, 5 tens, and 1 1. 200 plus 50 plus 1. It's 251.
Now you can compare them. In place value, the lowest value is the ones.
That's the digit farthest to the right.
Uh-huh. The greatest value is the digit farthest to the left. Place value gets greater as you move to the left. Compare your two numbers. Start with the digits farthest to the left. Which is greater?
They're both 2s.
Right. They're both equal. Now move right to the next digit.
There's a 1 and a 5. The 5 is bigger.
You've got it. The number with the 5 is greater.
But what about the ones place?
Tens are greater than ones. When you compare numbers, always start at the far left. Compare each place value. If both are equal, move another place to the right. If one is greater, then that number is the larger number.
So with these two boxes, the 2s in the hundreds place are equal. The 2s in the tens place are equal. But the 7 in the ones place here is greater than the 3 in the ones place there. So 227 is greater than 223?
Right. But sometimes you'll need to count higher than that. There are thousands, 10,000s, and even 100,000s. Just remember that the number with the greatest place value is the digit farthest to the left. Let's break this number down. Start at the far right.
The 8 is in the ones place. Then the 7 is in the tens place. And the 4 is in the hundreds place. Oh, what's after that?
Think of it this way. Each place is 10 times the number of the place to its right. Tens are 10 times ones. Hundreds are 10 times tens. Thousands are 10 times hundreds. 10,000s are 10 times thousands. And 100,000s are 10 times 10,000s.
So the 5 is in the thousands place?
Right.
And the 3 is in the 10,000s place.
And the 6 is in the 100,000s place.
So we'd say this number is 635,478.
Thanks, Ada. Now let's start to clean this place up. It looks like some digits have fallen off the number labels of the boxes. Help us put the digits back into the right places. Click and drag the 8 into the...
That's it. Ones are the smallest part of a number. Their place is always the farthest to the right.
Click and drag the 4 into the hundreds place.
Great work. 100 is 10 groups of 10. Hundreds are greater than tens and ones.
Click and drag the 3 into the thousands.
Awesome! 1,000 is greater than 100. The greatest place value in a number is always the place farthest to the left.
Now click and drag the 9 into the last empty place.
What do you call the place where you put the 9? Click on the right answer. Excellent! A 10 is one group of ones. It belongs to the left of the ones. Place values get greater as you move to the left.
Whew, look at this number label. Only a few digits have fallen off. Now let's try to get those back into place. Click and drag the 7 into the 10.
Super! 10,000 is 10 groups of 1,000. Place values get greater as you move to the left. 10,000 belongs next to 1,000.
Click and drag the 8 into the tens place.
That's right! Remember, tens are greater than ones. Tens belong to the left of the ones place.
Click and drag the 2 into the 100,000s place.
Fantastic! 100,000 is 10 groups of 10,000. That's a pretty big number, and the number with the greatest place value is always the number farthest to the left.
This number has no hundreds. Which of these answer choices would be best to show that there are no hundreds?
Absolutely. When there is no value for a place, we put a 0 in that place.
It looks like some digits have fallen off the number labels of the... I'm glad we got that cleaned up. Now let's look at this area. Uh-oh. These boxes have to go back up on these shelves. But the boxes on each shelf are in order from greatest to least.
Click on the boxes that have fallen to the ground. Drag them into the right places on the shelves. Remember, compare the numbers to find the right spots for each box. Look at place value to tell which numbers are greater than others. Click on the boxes that have fallen.
All right. Awesome. Nice work. Good job. Awesome. 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 Great. Great. Awesome. Great. Oh no, this label is all mixed up. Look at the correct number in words below the mixed up number. Click and drag the digits into the right places. Good job.
Look at this place now. It looks great. Thank you.
Now the store can open on time.
And now I'm exhausted. Let's go to the Pokemon Center to get some rest before the store opens.
Pika!
Oh, these boxes are so heavy. I can't take another step.
You shouldn't have taken things you couldn't carry, you knucklehead.
You said grab as much as you can.
Did I have to spell out that you'd also have to carry it? How? Oh no, look!
It's those twipes!
And Officer Jenny.
We gotta get out of here. Leave this stuff behind.
Look, Team Rocket.
Save yourselves!
They must have taken all this from the store.
You three are under arrest.
We'll have to take a rain check!
Pikachu, Thunderbolt!
We're blasting off again!
Good job, Pikachu. With another Team Rocket plan foiled, everything is definitely in place. Pika!
Well, that was certainly another fun one. And I hope you had a lot of fun revisiting these lessons again. And we'll continue to do some, and we'll pick up on this now next week. Yeah, that didn't sound right, so let me start that again. Well, that was a lot of fun revisiting these lessons ago, and I hope that you guys enjoyed them. And we'll be returning to more of the Diamond and Pearl lessons over the next 4 weeks. For now, I think that'll do it for tonight's edition of MediaNutso Plays. Join me tomorrow night as we'll once more dive back into the humongous entertainment library, where we'll be tackling returning to Pajama Sam 2 and 3, as well as Putt Putt Goes to the Moon. Until then, see you next time.